2023 marked another milestone year for the United Nations Office of Counter-Terrorism, as we continue to support member states and other actors worldwide through an all-of-UN approach to countering terrorism and preventing violent extremism. Our commitment to global cooperation aligns with the Secretary-General's new agenda for peace, outlining the need for multilateral efforts for peace and security. The third UN Counter-Terrorism Week in June brought together over 1,000 participants from 160 member states and over 160 regional, international, and civil society organizations, along with academia and the private sector, and hosted 40 side events, including the launch of the UN Joint Appeal for Counter-Terrorism in Africa. The week culminated with the General Assembly adopting a resolution for the 8th review of the Global Counter-Terrorism Strategy, providing guidance on member state priorities for the next 3 years. Delivering on its leadership and coordination mandates, UNOCT held a series of briefings to member states and key entities, including the Security Council and its Counter-Terrorism Committee, and prepared 3 reports for the General Assembly and the Security Council. We also facilitated 42 meetings under the UN Global Counter-Terrorism Coordination Compact, promoting collaboration between the UN system and member states. And we welcomed the International Monetary Fund as the latest entity to join the compact. Our online UN Global Counter-Terrorism Coordination platform now connects 1,050 focal points from 46 compact entities, 137 member states, and 14 regional organizations. UNOCT's capacity building efforts in 2023 reached new heights, benefiting 177 member states and nearly 15,000 individuals through 230 capacity building activities. Under the chairmanship of Saudi Arabia, the UNCCT Advisory Board held 2 successful meetings. Awarded the Best Learning Platform of the Year, UNOCT's Connect and Learn platform hosts 65 online training courses and 23 communities of practice, and brought together more than 6,000 users globally. The UN Counter-Terrorism Center and the Special Project and Innovation Branch implemented 40 global programs and projects, supporting member states and promoting regional cooperation. The Countering Terrorist Travel Program supported 69 member states and established working groups on the use of passenger data, while the Countering the Financing of Terrorist program enhanced understanding of how terrorists are using virtual assets and is ready for the deployment of GoFintel, a new IT application to enhance financial investigations. To improve border safety, the Border Security and Management Program launched an integrated border stability mechanism for West Africa. The program on countering terrorist use of weapons supported member states on issues relating to small and light weapons and IEDs and weapons of mass destruction. In addition, the Vulnerable Targets Program introduced new tools. The Cybersecurity and New Technologies Program launched 7 knowledge products, and the Program on AROS issued an awareness report about the risks posed by the use of unmanned aircraft systems for terrorism purposes. The Global Program on Preventing and Countering Violent Extremism expanded its youth alumni network of over 1,000 youth from over 50 member states and trained nearly 300 government and civil society representatives and journalists on countering terrorist narratives. The Global Sports Program provided technical assistance during the 13th African Games. In Doha, with the support of Qatar, UNOCT launched the Behavioral Insights Academy and supported the organization of a dedicated parallel session of the Doha Forum. While our Parliamentary Engagement Program continued to facilitate coordination among parliamentary assemblies and foster parliamentary policy dialogues. In Rabat, African law enforcement officers received an executive diploma for completing the specialized training curriculum on counter-terrorism investigations, delivered by UNOCT's Program Office. The Fusion Cells program extended its reach to 30 African member states, while the second high-level event of the heads of counter-terrorism and security agencies, held jointly with the Kingdom of Morocco, brought together 32 African intelligence and law enforcement agencies in Tangier. Together with the UN Regional Center for Preventative Diplomacy for Central Asia, we continued advancing the Counter-Terrorism Early Warning Network for Central Asia. the EU-UN initiative, Strengthening Resilience Against Violent Extremism in Asia, Strive Asia, finalized 3 roadmaps on women, civil society organizations, and youth engagement for the implementation of national action plans. In addition, we worked with the Arab Interior Ministers' Council to support the development and implementation of its regional counter-terrorism strategy. UNOCT continued to enhance its presence away from headquarters to house global programs, deepen relationships with key member state partners, and further tailor its engagement with beneficiaries. We inaugurated our Program Office of Madrid in June and re-established our presence in Baghdad, while our Program Office in Nairobi received funding from Kenya, strengthening its sustainability. Throughout the year, UNOCT continued its close collaboration with the Counter-Terrorism Committee Executive Directorate, using their analysis and recommendations in our capacity-building efforts. For instance, based on needs identified by CTED, the EU-UN Global Terrorism Threats Facility initiated assistance to 4 member states and explored support for an additional 3. Committed to improving the impact of our programs, we strengthened our evaluation guidance framework through the launch of our Evaluation Handbook and Evaluation Plan. We also finalized the midterm independent joint evaluation of the Countering Terrorist Travel Program and unveiled a joint EU-UN compendium on good practices, as well as a monitoring and evaluation toolkit for PCVE action plans. To further enhance assistance to member states, UNOCT formalized 17 partnerships through Memoranda of Understanding with international and regional organizations and academic institutions. We also held 2 virtual roundtables to bolster our ongoing engagement with civil society organizations and academic institutions. Through our Human Rights and Gender section, we made significant progress in mainstreaming human rights and gender in all our activities. In addition to providing technical assistance to the Republic of Iraq and to the Philippines, we also launched the Gender and Identity Factors platform with a library, trainings, and a community of practice. Determined to champion gender equality and the empowerment of women, UNOCT meets or surpasses 88% of the indicators in the UN System-Wide Action Plan. In 2023, we continued to advocate for the rights of victims of terrorism, promoting a model legislative framework to support them and leading the commemorations on the 6th International Day of Remembrance of and Tribute to the Victims of Terrorism. Our Memories exhibition, where victims of terrorism share their stories, was showcased in Spain and at the UN headquarters in New York, where we joined the group of friends of victims of terrorism in planting a solidarity tree. In the digital communication space, our websites received 1.5 million page views, and our X account reached nearly 23,000 followers with 256 million cumulative impressions. We expanded our online presence by joining Instagram and LinkedIn, and produced close to 90 publications, 30 videos, and a series of 16 podcasts. All these efforts and achievements are only possible because of the continued generous support of our 41 funding partners. We are especially thankful for securing $27.2 million in voluntary contributions from 19 partners, including 4 new partners: Oman, the Philippines, Turkmenistan, and Uzbekistan. We look forward to deepening collaborations with member states and partners in 2024 as we continue to address evolving threats with a special focus on Africa. Together, we remain united in our mission for a future without terrorism.